Hey guys, we're still working on molar mass. So molar mass this time, again, we're going to do mass to the number of moles. So we're going to start off with reading the question. So how many moles are in 22 grams of argon? So again, we're using our molar mass to convert from the mass to the moles. And so that's why on the first two practice sheets, we actually was just working on the molar mass. Now we're taking that molar mass and using it to convert from the number of grams of a element in this case to the number of moles of that particular element. So again, we like to read it, and as almost always in dimensional analysis, we're going to have to make sure that we figure out how many significant figures our answer needs to be in. So we read the initial problem, and we see that it says 22 grams. Okay, so that means that we have to put the correct number of significant figures in 2. So we have 2 significant figures there. Now again, if you don't know how to figure out how many significant figures, go to the rules of the packet. They'll definitely help you out there. So we're going to change that color to something nice and bright that we can see, and we'll even make it bold. So now we're going to go back over here, and I'm going to just bring this down here, and the rest of these down here, we're going to move up to 22. Okay, so as always, we're going to go ahead and start off with the number that's in the problem. Now, sometimes there's more than one number, and we have to figure out which one we're going to use or anything else. But most of the time in these type of problems, if there's more than one number, that means that the other one probably might be a conversion factor. So let's go ahead and look at this one right here. We have 22 grams of argon. Now, we do need to put argon down. We can even put the whole word, or we can just go to our packet, look at our periodic table, find argon right there, and put the symbol for argon in there. So again, don't cheat yourself by not putting this in there. If you don't put that in there, you're going to get it wrong. That's all there is to it. Show all your work. You have to show all your work when you do this. There's nothing new for chemistry or for most of your math or science classes. So we're going to put our argon there. Now again, what do we do when we always convert from something to something else? We're going to put our handy dandy times in a line. Okay, so I'm just going to make that a smaller one right there. Now again, what do we put on bottom? What do we put on top? Well, I'm going to always say that we always need to do, because we're converting it from grams, this is how many moles. So we're going to put moles on the top. Okay, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And on the bottom, we're going to put what we already have. So we have it in grams. So now what we have to do is figure out how many moles, which typically is going to be 1 mole, equals how many grams of argon. So how do we figure that out? Well, we go to the periodic table, and we're looking just for argon. There's argon, and the atomic weight of argon is 40. So 40 grams of argon equals 1 mole. So let's go ahead and go back to our question. And so we're going to put 40 in right there. And then I'm just going to take this right here, and we're going to underline it. I'll get rid of anything else that's over there. And so now we have 1. So I'll get rid of that. So 1 mole of argon, and we should put argon in all of this right here. Argon equals 40 grams of argon. So now we have to do the math, but before we do the math, we're going to cancel things out. So we're going to get rid of, since I have this on top and on bottom, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, and all we have to do is strike through that. We're going to strike through this also. Okay, now it's important to strike through this stuff. If you do not do that, then that means that those things have to be in your answer. So we need to get rid of any units that we don't need, that we have on top and bottom. So if you don't strike it out, then that means it needs to be in your answer, and then it's going to be wrong. If you don't strike it out, it's going to be wrong. So don't rush through these. Make sure that you're showing how to do them. Okay, all the way through. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and go over and do our answer at the end. So all we have to do is the math. So we're going to take our number that we start off with, multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. Even if you can do this in your head, which I know some of you can do it in your head, you can figure out what it is. I don't care that you can do that. That's great. That's going to help you out later on, but you have to show your work. So even if you do it later on, if you don't show it, there's going to be a problem, and you're not going to get credit for it, because remember, these are worth multiple points on the assessment. My guess are going to be worth about 10 points apiece, and every time that you don't do something, you're losing valuable points. The answer is only going to be worth 1 point. So make sure that you have everything labeled. So now that we have this all set up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our math. So we're going to get 22. We can multiply that by 1. We don't have to. Okay, for what it equals, and then divide that by 40. And that equals. So it's going to equal 0.55. And that's going to be moles. Okay, moles of argon. And again, I would like to also do the math again. So 22 divided by 40 equals that. We need to do significant figures. Is this 0 significant? That's the question that we have. We have a decimal in it, so is it significant? No, it's not significant. So that means trailing zeros with a decimal are significant, but this one, preceding zeros, are never significant. They're back in our rules. So there's our two significant figures. So all we have to really do is highlight this. Boom, there we go. There's our answer. 0.55 moles of argon is what 22 grams of argon actually equals. So that's practice number 3 of molar mass, problem number 2. Good luck with the rest of them. As always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.